Ghost activity, fringe science, interdimensional beings, psychic phenomenon, and conspiracy theories. Does the truth exist? How close are we to finding it? Come listen and discover the answers yourself. Welcome to the Paranormal MD, where the out of the ordinary is discussed weekly. Join your host, Mary Marshall, and her guest as they inform, discuss, and entertain you. Mary welcomes your input during the program, so call in and let your opinions and voice be heard. Talk radio just got weirder, wiser, and more interesting. Now, here is your host of the Paranormal MD Radio Show, Mary Marshall.
Hello, and welcome to the Paranormal MD. I'm Mary Marshall, your host, and it is my pleasure to be here tonight with all of you. Happy New Year to everyone. I'm so glad to be here, and I'm so glad that you're joining me. The new year has begun, and I hope it's a good one for all of you. I know it's going to be a good one for me. And I just wanted to ask you a few questions here. Anybody else here in the Midwest suffering this horrible, horrible snow? Oh my goodness, people. I think we've got 13 inches here. We're buried in, just buried in. It's blustery, it's snowy, it's cold, but it is January. So that's what it is. Anyway, as some of you might know that have been listened to my show before, I was on a little bit of a 3-month hiatus, and I apologize for that interruption, but I'm back and I'm here to stay, and the show is better than ever. So thank you to my loyal listeners who are joining me tonight, and welcome to all of you new listeners tuning in tonight. Yay for us. I say onwards and upwards. Anyway, excuse me. I just want to tell you a little bit about the guests tonight. We have, I'm really excited to have these two on, Sunhee and Chinhee Park. They're the psychic twins. They know, too, that some of you want answers about your year ahead. So, as usual, they're just being, their gracious selves and inviting you to call in this evening. So get your questions ready. Be ready to call. And here's the number. So, of course, that doesn't mean that you can't call in and talk to me. I welcome that too. All right. Well, this is the debut show here on the New Home Network. So we already said the number, but I'll give it to you one more time. So the next thing, there's a lot of people here that are new, that are joining me for the first time listening to the show. And, you're not always real comfortable. A lot of people get nervous on the phone, calling in, and they're like, I want to talk and I want to ask a question, but I'm just, I know I'm going to freak out. Well, this is a really good way for you to come into the chat room because fairly anonymous, and it's really easy to navigate, and you get to connect, with other people who are listening to the show and just really have a good time that way. But also, if you're shy or you just think you might be nervous about calling in, the chat room is a perfect place. Because while you're listening to the show, you can interact with other listeners, pose questions in the chat room to be asked of the guest or of me, and you will pose them to my show's new chat master and your new chat master, Pam. Pam will be there every time during the show, and she will be more than happy to take your questions in and relay them for you. So you're asking at this point, oh, but who is this Pam? Well, like I said, Pam is your new chat master, and she has grown she is in dealing with the paranormal herself as a member on my investigative team. She's also part of the Paranormal MD investigations. Basically, at this point, Pam can just step into any role for a case. I love her to pieces. She is a dear, dear, dear friend. She is my right hand, my left hand, Basically, if it wasn't for her assistance, by now I'd just be in a corner somewhere, drooling mess, mumbling to myself. So I thank God for Pam. So anyway, with this, I wanted to tell you just one more thing. Now, you may question, Chat Master, is this really the proper thing? Because I'm thinking master male, but master has another thing. So I was like, well, what's the female version of master is mistress, but chat mistress, yeah, that just conjured up a whole nother image in your head and an entirely different kind of chat room and show. So I looked it up in the dictionary. We are all good. It was the right call, and Pam is officially now the chat master, and we're good with that. So without further ado, let me introduce you to Pam and let her say hi. So Pam, are you there? Are you there in that chat room? And can you meet me on air? Hello? Hi.
I am. I was off for a second. I somehow got booted out, but I'm back in.
Oh, you got booted out?
Yeah, but I'm back in. At least on mine.
Well, that's good. I mean, I appreciate, it's going to be great being able to, talk with everybody about all of this stuff and have the questions relayed. And I know you are just the chatty girl when it comes to typing. You're not real crazy about speaking on air, though.
Sure.
Sure. Yes. No. Sure. I've had you on air before, and you were like, "Uh-huh."
Actually, it never went. No, we never got connected before.
No, not on my when I co-hosted on that other. show.
Yeah.
On that other show. Yeah.
No, this is the show. Anybody not on this show is missing out.
So one of the things, too, on here is if you, like I said, join us in the chat room. I see some people in there right now. I'm going to randomly call out some names. Patty and David and Hugo. I'm so glad that you're there, too. Some of the people who said they'd be there, and they are. Some really awesome people, too. I'm sure I'm missing people, so please don't be mad. I can only follow along so much in the chat room. So, if I haven't said hi, it's okay. All right. I guess what I'll do is I will let you get back to manning the keyboard. Is that the proper way to say that? For the chat room. And then throughout the show, if you get any questions, Pam will relay them to me, and they will certainly be asked, whether, again, of me or of the guests that are be coming on a little bit later. So now let me tell you a little bit about the guests for tonight. They are just the sweetest, kindest, and most insightful psychic mediums that I have come across. They will be joining me in a little bit. And they, like I said, encourage your calls. So don't be shy. Please call in if you would like. And if you, can't remember, can ask through that. But the only thing I'm questioning, and we'll have to ask them when they get on the air, is if it's something, if you're asking a question about yourself or about your own personal future or being, I'm not sure that they can do that with a relayed question. Now that I'm thinking about this, you might actually have to call in, but we'll ask. I'll ask them when I get them on air. A little bit more about them is that the guests are identical twins, Chinhee and Sunhee Park. They're psychic mediums, empaths, and energy healers. They were born in Korea, but they were adopted by an Italian-Irish family at the age of 2. They basically can read people from all walks of lives. And they have done phone sessions, live sessions, private parties, corporate parties, galleries, lectures. These girls, when I get them on, you are not going to believe, if you don't already know, all the things that they have already accomplished and done in their lives. So we will talk again a little bit more about them. They've been in countless newspapers, magazines, radio shows, as well as developing some of their own film, television projects. So it's gonna be kind of fun to just find out even more and more about them. Now it gets into, as the debut show, as I've been told, that I need to tell you a little bit about the show for the new people, especially that are tuning in. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. We have some different segments that will be going on, and they are going to be basically talking about ghosts and paranormal cases, listening to EVPs, discussing techniques and all that sort of jazz. I'm also going to be doing periodically reading emails, and basically emails that I've received, and I'll be sharing my answers with whoever emailed me with you on the air. And then every once in a while, we're going to have a little Who's There? So periodically throughout my shows, we're going to have random surprise guests call in without warning to you, the listener. So it'll be basically like they'll get on the air. You're going to hear their voice, not their name. There'll be 3 questions to try to identify them. And then they'll basically say hi and chit chat for just a couple minutes. And then they'll be on their way. That is partially. I'm also going to be covering a commentary segment, and this is going to be about my pet peeves or commentary on some current news, paranormal news. This will also be used to basically share my opinions on some things. So that's basically what that is going to be about. The other thing I'm going to be tackling is going to be a gadgets and technology. Now, this is really, which is of late, I'll have to tell you, this gadgets and technology is, pretty much tied to another segment, which is a conspiracy corner. And that's another one we're going to be doing. And the reason this is tied is because so much of our current technology seems to be tied to questionable outcomes and often abusive, type outcomes. So that's, a little bit of a tricky, and so some of these topics I will be covering, I will following through from the last time my show was on there, which was my series on transhumanism. And we will also be talking about some other things that have to do with that. The plot thickens and the rabbit hole is consistently getting longer and bigger and more confusing. So the conspiracy corner, we do have a lot of old and, true tried topics such as JFK, but I want to focus a little bit more on current conspiracy, things that are more poignant to our current lives, our daily lives, like, for instance, Google, who happens to be in bed with the NSA, the National Security Administration. So we'll be, and their products that will take over in our daily lives. So, like Google Glasses and Google ceiling phone microphones and inner body microphones. So, yep, you did hear me right. We are going to start having them implanted in our bodies, and we will be connected to the world. So, yeah, these are some of the things that are a little bit scary, but they are going on. So, this is, for now, mostly what we're going to be talking about. We will be having a roundtable discussion also, a panel, and I'll tell you a little bit about that when we a little bit more about that when we come back from the break. But basically, this is an invite to all of you listening to be part of the show. That's right, part of the show. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to join us and help us discuss. So we'll be right back. Stay with us. Grab a drink. Kind of saw you and said, hey, I want them, and started sending you in parts. Who is this player and how did this happen?
His name was Richard Ray, or Michael Ray Richardson, and what happened is his best friend found me on the streets, and he said, look, we're looking for an Asian for Law and Order, and I was like, yeah, right, whatever. And he goes, no, I'm serious. You need to go down. They need someone really fast. And I was like, yeah, whatever. I don't believe you. So he goes, no, please call this number. You can be in the TV show. And I was like, okay, fine. So I called the casting director, and he said, hey, get down here, look like a gangster's girlfriend, wear an MC leather jacket, and you'll do the part. And he goes, wait a minute, you sound like you're not Asian, you sound Italian. And I'm like, no, I swear to God, I'm Korean, I'm 100%. He goes, no, you sound Italian, but if you're not Asian when you get down here, I'm going to kick you off the set. And I was like, oh my God, no, I swear to God, I'm really, and as I'm talking with my hands in the air, you know. So I was like, trust me, when you see me, you won't kick me off. So I ran down there, I got the job, and the agent that had worked with that guy that found me, he basically found me and started sending me out on all these Asian auditions. So it's fun from there.
Did they say the same thing? Like, you're too New York for us. You're too Italian.
No, you know what? I really enjoyed doing it. My sister and I were in Law and Order twice, and we've done some things where we've been really blessed. I mean, we've been in People magazine, we've been in Time magazine, MTV. Like, we did a commercial for Estee Lauder. We booked a Double Mint commercial, but it was shown in Asia, and all these great opportunities. But we were like, you know, what are you doing? We want to do what you're doing. And he goes, I'm booking the people. So he ended up like handing us his business. Like, he left the business and then gave us his business, and we were talent agents for almost 8 years or 9 years. So it was really cool.
That's a long time. It's not that I did not realize you guys were doing that for that long.
Well, I think Chinhee would always look at the pictures and be like, oh, that person doesn't have acting abilities. They're just a wannabe.
Nice.
Is this your psychic abilities kicking in here?
Yeah, we exercised our abilities, wouldn't you say, Chin? I mean, she knew all the time who was going to book.
Wow.
Right. Yeah, I could just tell who was going to become famous.
That makes it easy. That's not fair. I was just thinking, wait a minute, that's just not fair. That just made it way too easy for you.
But wait a minute, we're saving people thousands of dollars in heartache.
By which one? The actor wannabes by saying no, you suck, or
yeah.
Clients?
Well, you know, it's better to give them the truth.
Yeah, that's true. Well, that's kind of your style too for your reading of people, is that you're pretty straightforward and honest about things, right?
I think you would be too, Mary, if you were raised by Italians and Irish people. Right?
Yeah, that could be. That's true. That's true. So, you know, you landed up doing this. There's one thing that I'm not making the connection, though, so you were doing this kind of talent agent thing and business management. How did you go from that to doing like aerial photography? This I read in your bio. How did that happen?
Well, we had gone out to L.A. We were going to expand the talent agency business and open up an office in L.A. And while we were out there, I did a little internship for Paramount Pictures, and my sister was working with a friend of ours. We were both doing it. We were shooting out of a Robinson R-22 helicopter, and we were doing video aerial photography.
Wow.
It wasn't like a career change or anything. It was more like, let's face our fears. We're scared of heights. Let's do this. So it was during the O.J. Simpson case, and we're getting flipped off like birdies, and we were just basically all the shots, the aerial shots of the O.J. Simpson case, the dead model, the supermodel who was found dead in the woods, and then Whoopi Goldberg's wedding, and everyone, we pretty much did that, did those shots, and we sold them to the news stations.
Wow. I mean, it's incredible that you have managed to, I guess, just, it kind of reminds me of me. It's like you're into more things, different things along the way. It's like, how did that happen?
Yeah, that was really interesting because we got to go back and edit things. So we learned a lot about production parts of things as well,
Well, you know what? And that's the best way to really further yourself along in anything is you do learn all the different parts or the behind the scenes, and it makes other things easier then for you. I am going to stop because we have a question. We have a few questions actually from the chat room.
Sure.
This one I'm going to let you two answer, which is simply, what is an empath?
That would be me. This is Chinhee. I'm an empath. I'm actually. It's actually picking up on people's emotions, feelings, thoughts, and to the point where you actually become that person. So the transition could be pretty quick, where you don't even realize that you're actually picking up on someone else's emotions and becoming their emotions. And a lot of people are empaths. They're just not aware of it.
So
wait, I'm an empath too, but for physical. I will walk around feeling like I'm a hypochondriac because I can feel everybody's ailments.
Oh, you literally physically feel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It transfers on to me. If someone has arthritis or bad back, or if they just got out of surgery, I'll feel like I just got out of surgery. It's so weird. But I learned how to shield, and I learned how to exercise it to get it off me. And that's where I pick up. Also, I can pick up if I'm rich, poor, or if I'm going to college. I mean, all these thoughts come in as if I'm empathing someone's goals and tangible goals,
So soon he picks up on she has all these physical ailments that she picks up on, and then I pick up on all the depressed and bipolar and, the really fun emotional feelings, and we're just two big hot messes. No,
wow.
I'm just kidding.
You two are, I bet you're just a hit at the parties.
Try like buzz killers.
I don't know. Chinhee's over there crying in the corner, and soon he's
Oh my God, it's so true, Mary. I have to knock her out. I'd be like, dude, it's not you. It's that person you just spoke to. And she'll be like, oh, okay, and then snap out of it. So, but I'll feel like Chucky's coming, and I'll be like, uh-oh, here comes another personality. It's not you, and I'll slap her out of it,
Yeah,
literally.
That's good in the way that you have each other to do that and can identify that, because could you imagine if you did not have that and you were individually on your own, going through that, you could certainly, I don't want to say succumb to it, but really, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Well, that's why we feel, a lot of our clients, they're always asking about how they can control their empathy. And I just feel for them because, I feel like I have an advantage because I have a physical abuser twin that slaps me out of it. So a lot of people don't have that advantage, and it's really comes down to you have to really talk to yourself a lot and really be very aware and observant in who you're picking up on and what you're feeling and what's yours and what's theirs.
Well, you better become friends with a psychic then. If you don't have a twin, you got to get some psychic friends.
That's true. That's true, though. And everybody can kind of keep the check and balance there.
Yep, totally.
I have another question. I'll just get this one too right away, which is, do you believe that if we don't have, I'm trying to read this out, if we don't have the gift you and your sister have, that we can develop the gift through classes to develop it?
I believe everyone has the gift. I believe that everyone has these abilities. They just need to, sure, you could probably develop them through classes. But I always feel like, learning from other people is a lot easier.
I feel like experiencing it and actually diving in and doing practice readings is really what's going to help your muscle exercise. It's like when you go to the gym, you're exercising your physical muscle. Well, if you don't practice doing a reading with family and friends, then how are you going to be better? It's like basketball players have to practice. Musicians have to practice.
Yeah.
You just got to dive in.
I guess so. I guess, so you would just think, so, well, you can't really, if you're trying to, you'd have to pick up somebody who wasn't a friend, because otherwise you would know way too much. So just some, random friend of your friend and say, here, sit down and just see what happens.
Well, Mary, think about it. We're in an unconventional world. If you are not good in classes, how are you going to learn? Like some people just aren't good in a classroom format, Like, I don't know about you guys, but I couldn't really concentrate in school. Like, I was just like, boring, let me out of here. Some people don't have that attention span or that focus, but if you actually if you try to see what your niche is, or you try to see what you're best at, what do people come to you with? Do they come to you with their personal problems, their romantic problems, or their financial problems? You will know what you seem to be drawn more to, or what you attract more. You'll figure it out, but you got to keep practicing and just blurt out stuff that you feel. It's all based on the unknown. It's on your own feelings and messages and what you feel is coming at you. It could be through visuals. It could be through a voice,
And we've never taken classes.
Well, you started really young at already knowing you had a gift, correct?
Yeah. And we never took a class, though. We halted up until 27 is when we really started doing it. We just dove in and just started practicing.
Well, let me ask you this. How did your parents feel about this? Now, I'm assuming Italian-Irish, this is a Catholic family.
Totally.
just a wild guess.
Totally, yeah.
Pretty much, you two are crazy, and, they didn't believe in it. So.
Yeah.
Did they ever think like you were doing something that was evil or wrong?
They pretty much, the Bible says that we're demonic or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So they pretty much thought we were going to hell.
Yeah.
I told them we're already here in hell.
It's this planet, right? Now, did you grow up in Manhattan? Did you grow up in Manhattan or elsewhere?
No, we grew up in upstate New York in the hick town of Binghamton. Hick town. We were the only Asians. No, maybe there was two others, but we were around all white, Jewish, Italian, and barely any Spanish. I don't think there was even one Spanish person in there, was there?
I think there was one.
One, okay.
Now, how was that for you on an emotional level, or did you think about it not as that much or a lot? The fact
You know, Mary, I think you are the same way. You just don't feel like you belong in a certain environment if you don't feel like you're around other open-minded people, you know?
Yeah.
These people are going to church every day, washing their sins away, you know?
Trying to, anyway.
They have not left Binghamton. They get married, have kids, go and do whatever, the whole system, the whole schedule. You know, it's like have a career, work 9 to 5, go to college, all that stuff. You know, it's when you're an artist or you have more different goals or different thought process, you just don't mesh there. You mesh in bigger cities. You feel more accepted, you know?
Yeah, I guess so. And, it amazes me how you guys just have this, you have obviously you know this, but this positive energy, and it just comes out, and I just don't, do you just have days that you're like just depressed and you don't want to get out of bed?
No. Oh, well, yeah,
of course we've been sad and felt depressed and stuff like that.
Yeah, both our parents died, so we've had to deal with death and mourn and feel the spirits. But I'll tell you, don't you think what's more depressing is when you're figuring out your own psychic abilities and they're expanding into like from spirits to like aliens now? It's like there's something scary where when you become so awake, you become more, oh my God, why me? I'm doomed with this gift. It's too big of a burden, you know. It's too big of a responsibility. It's, if anything, that's more depressing to take in, and it's almost like you get whacked out because you have to accelerate so quickly.
Did that concern you in the beginning, or maybe does it still, when you're reading someone and maybe it's not good news? Maybe it's something that's not good, and you relay the responsibility of that. Do you ever think afterwards, oh, maybe I shouldn't have said that?
No, I believe intuitively what comes out of our mouth is what's supposed to come out. You know, we try to be careful in what we say. We don't want to scare people, and we will intuitively feel if they really want to know the truth, and we'll tell them beforehand, like, do you want to hear the good and the bad, because we're just going to be straight up and straightforward with you.
Yeah, someone just emailed us today and said they can't get out of bed. Life is hopeless. And, you know, it didn't ruin my day, and I wasn't worried about her. But in the beginning, when we started the business, which was 14 years ago, yes, we were more emotionally attached. Yes, we got worried. Yes, we would have to take more downtime for ourselves. Now it's like we're kind of like, okay, everything happens for a reason. We understand things a lot better. It's just from experience and doing it as often as possible that we've been able to throw it off of our shoulders, but not be cold and bitter and sound like, I'm sorry, but Sylvia Browne sounded bitter after a point, you know?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, by the way, okay, oh my goodness. It's like the chat room's got all kinds of questions going on.
Mary, stop being so popular.
No, it's not me, ladies. So, okay, I'll just share in on it because, you know, I've got nothing else going right now. So, anyway, one thing I have to tell you, you've gotten the comment that you both sound way too young to this as long as you have. But what, you know, here, I'm trying to think.
Well,
about
we're 43.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Wow, you guys you even look younger.
Yep, everyone says that, so it's a compliment. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, that's fantastic. Well, we will take a break, and we'll be back in just a few minutes with your guest, Chinhee Park. Hello and welcome back. You are listening to the Paranormal MD. I'm Mary Marshall, your host, and I am joined here by Chinhee and Sunhee Park, the Italian-Irish psychic twins. Hello, ladies. We are back.
We only look Korean.
Yeah, we were just made in Korea.
No. It's one of those.
I'm like reading all the questions and comments in the chat room. I can't even keep up.
I know. And here's the question I need to ask you. When somebody is like this is asking a specific question, there was somebody in the chat room that Richard Martinez, and he asked a specific question to do with his life. For that type of thing, do you need that person to be on the line with you?
No. Oh, no, not really. I was just encouraging people to call. I didn't know if you were going to be taking... I thought you said you were going to be taking callers.
Yes, we are taking phone calls. And let me, again, just for the heck of it, give out that phone number, which is 1-800-653-1680. Please call in. I know people like to, and I know you get nervous on the, and maybe you're going in the chat room for that. I'm not sure, but it would just be easier and nice to hear your voice on the line and join us live on the air here. So, well, let me then ask this question. You're in the chat room, but I can certainly ask the question for Richard, which was he wanted to know if you see his music leading to a career, and that he is asking this also because someone keeps touching him when he is playing.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I got right away. Do you know what Richard looks like? Does he have brown hair?
I don't. No,
Okay.
maybe he can, if he's still in, he can, answer real quick, but.
I got yes immediately, Richard. You're definitely going to have a career, and the person that you're touching to, I felt, was a male spirit that you're connected to.
Hello?
Hi, sorry about that. So we were dropped.
Yeah, that's okay. I was too.
Oh, it was a ghost.
Moment. It was a ghost.
It was the spirit. We were dropped like hot potatoes. So
I think we're all back. We're good now.
Yeah, I totally feel he's going to do music. I saw him. I don't know if he's tried playing the guitar, but I saw him doing singing and guitar. So I don't feel it's going to be a band. I feel more it's a him solo. So.
And Richard, you have like somewhat kind of brownish hair, and I'm getting like stop worrying about your age and like you not being young enough or something like that. So.
Yeah, totally. But he's more like classic rocker, and I guess the inspiration would be classic rock and roll, the oldies. Not to make you sound old. I just feel that you're inspired by the classical rock musicians.
So, yeah, Richard, if you could validate that would be great in the chat room.
Yeah, that would be awesome, and we get back with on that. Also, we have a caller on the line.
Okay.
Hello and welcome.
Thank you.
And you are?
I am Anne.
Hi, Anne.
Woo-hoo.
This is Mary.
You just won 3 potatoes. Just kidding.
Awesome. Are you hungry?
That is right. Do you have a question for our guests?
I do. I have $1 million question. I would like to know what is wrong with me, and I would say that on a medically speaking term.
Okay. Anne?
Yes.
And do you have brown hair?
I do.
Okay. More towards the darker side?
Typically, if I didn't just get highlights, yes.
Okay. All righty. Just want to make sure we're connecting.
I don't feel like you... Wait, you're asking what's wrong with you, like as if... like
what's wrong with my body?
Illness, right?
Yes.
What's wrong with it? I pick up some type of like nerve / blood, kind of like a disorder thing, but I don't feel it's like specifically diabetes or hypothyroid. You know what I mean? And
okay.
I'm not supposed to really diagnose anything at all, but I do feel that.
No. Any insight is greatly appreciated. I've been to tons of medical professionals, and so I'd like to hear what you have to say.
I feel like something like that you're ingesting, and also specific vitamins that you're lacking, and things that are unknown that you don't know about, but you have been used to doing all these years. I feel that is what's causing you to get anxiety, or the nerves to not be properly going up to your brain to say you're happy or you're good. I don't feel you're in a depression either. Like, I feel that you may think you are sometimes, but I feel that it's blood related. So I don't feel there may be some lacking of certain cells too, you know? It's not
okay.
If you want me to say that you have like a thyroid or cancer or something like that, I don't feel it's like major, but I feel it's something that you cannot touch right now. Like, you can't see it, you have not seen it, you know?
Right. And I'm still on the search multiple years later. You're kind of right on the nerve thing. I did have a nerve tumor a couple years ago, but I'm still having some effects. So
okay,
that's awesome.
Well, there's some certain vitamins that I feel that you could do not to the extreme, don't like go all out, but the first thing that I picked up was lysine and iron, and I also picked up on you could use definitely juicing and superfoods, maybe in a juice twice a day.
Okay.
And then I felt like some more iron.
And Anne, do you tend to like really keep yourself busy?
Yeah, I like to stay busy at work so the pain doesn't take over.
Do you eat a lot of sugar too?
I do have a sweet tooth.
Okay, so that's I'm Chinhee, and I just wanted to just give you my insight of, I just had a little 2 cents to add to it. I just felt like you really needed to, you could relax a little more, and I feel like if you cut out some caffeine and sugars, that would probably help you too.
The fake sugars, not the organic sugar, but fake sugar with the chemicals, and that could help repair the nerve stuff too. The fake sugars is what causes also blockage of your own intuition, like you're blocking yourself from being more sensitive.
Interesting.
So you do want to be sensitive, you do want to feel, you want to heal, and you will be able to heal physically as well. So, you may get tired from coming off of the sugars, but trust me, it's worth it.
Okay, well, thank you, ladies, very much.
Oh, no problem, man. Nice to meet you.
All right, thank you. Happy New Year. Have a wonderful day.
Okay, you too.
Thanks
Bye-bye.
for calling in.
Bye.
Real quick, ladies, Richard said yes that he does play the guitar, and this
okay, cool.
So.
And Richard, I feel like I know you, so it's like you're my brother or something, or I felt like you've known us, and it's like a familiar feeling and connection. So you just haven't made it big yet because for some reason in your past life you were already a celebrity, and this life you're supposed to suffer for whatever reason because you may have had a little ego in the past life with your music. It's not a bad thing or punishment. It's more about the karmic circle. So just try to remember, you're in this life. You're going to be well-known, famous, and successful. It's that you had to work on some things in the meantime and heal. It's not about age.
I also wanted to tell that last woman, what was her name, Anne? That a lot, her empathy too.
Yeah, she has big empathy.
Definitely.
I was going to say, we only have a few minutes. I'm going to make this, if you can make this one rather brief. What kind of diet do you typically eat? Do you two typically eat?
Oh my God, this is funny, Mary. We used to honestly eat anything and everything, but it was pretty much all organic stuff, all organic foods. And ever since 18 years old, we've been juicing vegetable juices, fruit juices. But my sister, just a few years ago, decided that we had these food intolerances and, included me in her food intolerance thing. So she basically put us on a diet where I wanted to kill myself because it was like for Crohn's disease people. It was like the blandest, no taste whatsoever. I just wanted it to die.
It was to clean us out.
Yeah, clean us out and kill us. I was just so miserable. And I was on that diet for 3 years, literally.
And why did I do it, Chinhee? Because you kept complaining about stomach issues, so we had to do it, so don't bitch.
Right, but when you have stomach issues, you don't need to be on that Crohn's disease diet for 3 years. You can actually heal your stomach enzymes within 6 months and then start eating the foods again.
Yeah, so...
But no happy medium over here.
No, this is what we eat, Mary. We eat a fruit smoothie in the morning. We have like all organic foods like chicken sausages, pancakes, and potatoes or hash browns, and even some toast. And then we eat in the afternoon. We will have grilled chicken salads or hamburgers and stuff like that. And then we'll have a really nice dinner of just organic foods. Like, we always eat organic, but we eat some junk. I think what's happening now is that with the earth shifting and everybody's changing, their attitudes are more short circuit. I think that we
stop you. We're going to go to a break, and I don't want you to get cut off. So
no problem.
We're going to take a break, and I'll be back in a few minutes with the twins. So have your questions ready. And you are listening to the Paranormal MD. Hello and welcome back. This is Mary Marshall, and you're listening to the Paranormal MD Radio Show. I'm joined by Chinhee and Sunhee Park. Hello, ladies.
Hi.
So this is what I just did as we're coming back in from commercial. I had my mic muted. That was not good. I'm like, hello, why are they not answering me?
Oh, shoot.
Psychic, for crying out loud. They should know.
Yeah, we knew your mic was muted.
Yeah, that's it. People have so many questions. I'm going to get back to them again. But darn it, I have a couple questions.
I've never seen a chat room scroll so fast. I can't even keep up. My eyes are too small.
You know why? They're too small. Oh, Lord. Totally caught. I'm like, what? You know what? Because there's so many people in there. It's hopping.
Wait, can I finish what we eat?
Yes. I want to know what you're eating.
Because I think a lot of people should know that they should eat chemicals and organic and natural foods. You have to mix the two of them.
What?
Yes. If you eat pure organic and clean foods, if ever you're on the road and you start eating junk food, your body goes into like, oh my God, what is this foreign object in me? You know? And
not just that.
You're susceptible to more illness, colds, flus, because you're so clean and pure. And you're also more susceptible to empathy and negative energies.
Really?
So you know how when you get the flu shot, they give you the flu to combat the real flu? Well, that's where in this time and day and age, now we have to eat chemical foods too, because it'll help us to protect us from the illnesses and flus and just from getting sick, and you have to have a balance.
Sunhee's just telling you that because she loves McDonald's.
No, that's not why. I love McDonald's fries because they have MSG salt in it or something addicting.
So she's just trying to justify a poor diet.
No, actually, I'm not, because
it's actually true, Mary.
True.
Because I've never, when I was all organic and all natural, I was actually more sick and sick more frequently, and my empathy was out of control. And it was just like almost like I felt like my body was so vulnerable that I didn't have anything to shield it with. And honestly, if you could eat like mostly the majority of your diet, some organic and just good stuff, and then just eat what you want like 2 or 3 days out of the week, and you'll be much happier. Because if you're emotionally happy, you're going to be physically happy.
That's a really good point too. If you're even in somehow feeling like a lot of us do with the dieting, especially now after the holidays. If you're going to, emotionally and mentally feel, like you're being denied, and it's going to affect you.
Yeah, I can't deny myself with the McDonald's fries,
Oh, you should see her, Mary. She's a crack fiend. She's like, we're going to McDonald's now.
That's funny you use that term, because I have this, like, as I put it, addiction, and I call them my crack bars, but they're really the Edie's frozen strawberry fruit bars that they have.
Oh yeah, I love them.
It's like a night I have to have one. And so a family or somebody, thank you, Lori, for asking the question about the diet and the food, because I think it does psychic or empathic abilities in your intuition. All right. So now I am just going to read these, which is I don't know who asked this though. I have so many different things coming into my life right now. I don't know who asked this question. Hello?
Hello.
Hello, I believe we're having this discussion live on the air. Hello. I guess you couldn't hear me, and I'm not sure why.
No, they couldn't hear you. We can hear you.
I'm telling you, I'm doomed. They just the spirits like to mess with me.
Whenever we get on a radio show, it does that.
Oh, does it?
It's our energy, and the energy in the chat room is crazy.
Yeah, and you get a combined energy like that going, and it can just play havoc with things. So, all right. So what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to asking some of the questions from the chat room, and maybe I can fit some of mine in there then.
Well, there's about 6 psychics in the chat room that could contribute too.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's funny.
A lot of energy going on. Holy cow.
We have a big psychic family.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, You know what? Now that you said that, I have to say this, because you have your website that you had started, which is the ES Psychic.
Yeah, plural. ESPsychics.com.
Psychics.com. How long has that been in existence? How did you start it? And I understand like you actually are testing people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, we have to give credit to Kristen Dalton from the Dead Zone with Anthony Michael Hall. We had her on our radio show, and we felt a woman that was friends with her, that was connected to her. My sister did a reading for her. So she said, she told Kristen, there's a woman that we have messages for. So her business partner called us, and my sister Chinhee did a reading for her, and from that point, we all became really good friends. And we said to ourselves, she said, I'm so sick of calling psychics and getting ripped off. And we're like, oh, my God, we hear it all the time. Everybody gets ripped off, or they get they get just bad readings. And she's like, I wish there was a site where they just tested people. And she's like, let's do one. So we're like, okay. So we started one up. I go, we've got the psychics, so you can help us build it. So we started it up 8 months ago, literally, and we have 40 psychics on there right now. You have to be tested twice. I'm now taking IDs and checking references. I have to see and feel that the people are genuinely in this industry that care about people. I've got to see their personality. I have to see their consistency. I have to see, are they going to do what they say and stuff like that, where they can't just be about money,
Yeah. Well, I think that's gives people, obviously it's going to, a lot of comfort and better certainty, as who they're dealing with. Because I think that's, for most of us out there, it's like, well, yeah, I'd love to go, but do you know anybody that's good? How was your experience? And you go back and forth, and you like try to compare notes. And so to have an entire website and go, okay, I can just go there and pick anybody. That I think is a really great service, actually.
Yeah. We are a little pricey. I'm not going to say we're cheap, because all the psychics on there have been doing this for 14, 15, 20 years, The reason why we're at a higher price or a more pricey price is because we want to filter out the people who don't really want readings or genuine readings. I guess we just don't want to, and plus we don't want to underpay the people, the psychics, who are so gifted and so loving, and, you know?
Right.
So.
On there. All right. I have a person that has asked this question. I guess apparently he's asked it a few times. And I'm like, it's on the list. I'm getting there.
Is that Dan?
Yeah, it is Dan. And he was basically, there was a couple things on there. Is that for him and his wife.
Mm-hmm,
and that class ring that belonged to a man that is passed is his spirit with them.
Wait, which one is that Dan's question?
This is Dan, yeah.
The class ring of the man?
Yeah, it says this is how it's been posed to me. Me and my wife have a class ring that belonged to a man that is passed.
Okay, I think that's a different person. Because Dan was asking about how to get his wife to be more communicable and connected to the marriage.
You know, yeah. I think there possibly might be two Dans. Because one was for. Okay, well, then we can go back to which one do you want to answer?
Well, how about the one that's with the marriage, I guess? With
the marriage, with the spouse? Yeah.
Uh-huh. So Dan is asking how he can get his wife to be more communicable and connected to the marriage.
Right.
Do the opposite.
He's at his wit's end. Well, honestly, I mean, if you're at your wit's end and you've tried everything, then you need to stop doing what you're doing, and just focus on yourself and let her come when she's ready. Because obviously what you're doing is kind of putting her in a trance and keeping her in a trance so she's not budging. And once you stop putting so much time and energy into trying to get her to communicate, she'll start coming to you.
Yeah, she's stuck in the past about something, so she probably doesn't even know what's bothering her or what's going on with her. So she can feel your energy. So the more you want to talk to her, the more she's going to stay in that trance. It's almost like she's not listening.
And Dan's trying to get oil from a rock.
Mm.
So you got to do the opposite. Whatever you're doing right now, halt, screech, put on the brakes, do the opposite.
It's going to work, trust us.
Wow. Okay. Well, there you go. He said thank you. He's happy.
Okay.
And sometimes I know you were in there, but this is for people who are listening too to kind of keep up with it. The other thing on here is that this is from Robert. Oh my goodness, I'm getting myself confused here as far as the names and who's asking what. Robert Clark. Oh, goodness. All right. I'm going to have to go back and get these questions again because I'm like the names and the questions are a little disjointed as far as how I'm receiving them. So I apologize.
That's okay.
In the chat, to you ladies in the chat room.
If someone has a father or a father figure that was in a hospital bed or was laying in a bed and he has a message to say, like, I think he had pneumonia or something towards the end, but he said that he was listening and hearing, but he's a very quiet, bald type man. So I had him come to me before the show. So I don't know who that belongs to in the chat room.
Okay, well, let's put that question out there. Does anybody in the chat room recently, he passed away, he was in the hospital with pneumonia. I
saw him in a bed. The way he passed was either through the chest and pneumonia, and I felt like he wasn't able to talk or talk properly of what he really wanted to say, but he was listening to what the person was saying to him. So he just wanted to say he was there and listening. So it's just a little comfort knowing that, but it was right before I got on the show.
Interesting. All right. I almost was going to ask you a personal question there after you said that. I'll save it. I'll save that one.
Mary, you're not one of the listeners, but go ahead. But you're VIP. You're VIP.
No, I can take my time later.
Yeah, really, Mary, you can message us anytime. We're like a Korean deli, New York City Korean deli, open 24 hours for you.
I love you guys. Have you ever, I have to ask this question though, because, doing what you do, and have you ever had any trouble with a bad entity that was just really disruptive to you, that maybe even that you, couldn't get rid of and maybe even scared you? And how did you handle it?
We had a convention recently for the American Federation of Certified Psychics and Mediums, and I was about to do a workshop. As I was sitting there, I had gotten attacked by an entity.
You know what? After I ask this question, I'm going to tell you to hold that thought, because I know we're going to land up going to break, and I
no problem.
This whole thing. So, everybody, just stick with us, and hello, and welcome back to the Paranormal MD. I'm Mary Marshall, your host. In the meantime, my guests, Sunhee and Chinhee. Hello, ladies.
Hi. Hi there.
Hi. I just cannot believe I was peeking in the chat room during the show. Holy shnikes. It's just like stuff flying, and I'm, trying to keep up, and I'm trying to get the questions asked. So please forgive me if I'm not getting everybody's questions and getting them out correctly. Because part of this, this is where I get this little confused. As I'm reading this coming in, I've got the Dan, and I don't know what the heck is QQ. Is that question? I don't know what that means, if that's somebody in there.
Quick question.
Maybe that's it. Quick question. And this is the one again that had to do with, and I thought it was a different Dan, but that's where I thought I might be wrong now, which had to do with this class ring, as far as somebody what they're having an issue, and they wanted to know if somebody was attached to it. However, Kathy in the chat room asked, tell me regular, what the heck? I'm sorry. I'm trying to read this. My health. This is how this question came in. Can you tell me my health? That's what it says. That makes no sense. So
I guess they really think we're psychic.
I know. No, it's I don't know if I'm looking, and what I'm doing is, like, as I'm getting them, I'm like doing a copy and I'm putting on a sheet. So I'd ask them out, and this is how I did type this. That's how it came in. So at any rate, please go back to then telling us about which I so rudely interrupted you, about the fact if you are dealing with, some of the bad things, what do?
The evil entity or negative entity did not want me to do my workshop, because what I was doing was helping. My workshop was titled "How to Shield Negative Energies." So when I was about to go up, I was sitting in I was getting ready, and then all of a sudden my knees got really weak, and my legs started getting like aching, and I was almost like I was in a frozen type of state, and I had to walk out of the auditorium and sit on the bench and totally pray to get that thing off of me. It was so, and it felt like a dark blanket just all of a sudden was trying to cover me, like when the fire is running and you got to throw a blanket over to smother it. That's how I felt, like I was the little fire and it was trying to smother me. So I shook it off of me. I told him to get away from me, and I had to recuperate for at least 2 minutes and meditate, and then go back in to do my workshop. So stuff like that, when it's about to happen, you start to feel like you're heavier, like at least 1,000 more pounds, and you could be in such a comatose state where you barely can move because you're so shocked that you're even getting attacked or feeling the negativity, and it hits you like you don't even know, like what the heck just hit you, So once that happens and you feel it a little bit beforehand, it's normally a negative entity that is just off the street. You don't even know where it came from. You can't identify the location, you know?
Yeah. Wow. You know, I mean, has there ever been any time, though, that you maybe even looked to either one of you, to your sister, because of being just frightened over something to do with the other side, somebody from the other side, or whether it be human or inhuman, for that matter, entity?
Yeah, recently we started doing some channeling for extraterrestrials. I was in a trance and I saw a reptilian. I
don't think a lot of people, some people might not know what a reptilian is.
Reptilian is a negative alien. It was right in my face. I didn't know why I was seeing him because I never see visuals. I don't really get a lot of visuals. But I did feel that negative dark blanket again, but it was a different feeling, like, oh my God, this is an animal. This is not human. This is not a human spirit. It totally freaked me out, but I stayed calm, and the woman and I both had to pray to get it away from us, and it knocked down my sight, and it totally it took my sight off the internet for about 30 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah, it crashed my site.
That was a whopper.
Wow. And, I imagine over the years, you've had a lot of close calls like that. Because
yes.
You're just open. That's what you do. You know.
It's because we're light beings, and the negativity sometimes would love to be a part of our thing, but they can't get to us because we're too light. We're too above their vibration.
Well, Mary, I'm not really scared of, like, the negative spirits or entities or aliens or any of that. I'm more scared of the people.
Humans. Yeah, really.
I totally hear you on that one. I say that often. I'm more afraid of the living than I am the dead.
Yeah, exactly. So. People are scary.
Okay, now I do have this. Kathy from the chat room, WHVRDB Kathy, basically her question is just, can you tell her about her health, her regular health?
Kathy?
Yes.
I'd have to do like a little scan, but what I pick up first is towards the chest area. If she feels negativity or she gets anxiety or she gets shortness of breath or whatever, I feel it's more of a negative. She's sensitive to negativity. Health-wise, I feel, she eats like us, good, and then junk. I don't really feel, if anything, maybe some more cardio or something in the leg areas, but other than that, I feel she's doing, if you had any bad stuff, it could have been in the past, but I don't feel anything like major right now. A little bit, watch for your blood pressure. I think that would be something in the far future.
Okay. Well, anything else, or?
No, I mean, there's not a lot. Like, I really need to be in front of a hot mess to really start saying a lot of stuff. Like, I don't feel she has massive pain going on. If she does, she's probably empathizing other people's pain as well, too, and she doesn't realize how sensitive she is,
I did feel like she could get her thyroid checked.
That's a good question, though, is that how can a person and the average person tell the difference between their own health issues and that of picking up either someone else's or being affected by someone else's energy? Can you tell the difference? And maybe you guys can, but the average person out there.
Yeah, the average person normally when they're picking up on negative energy, what they'll do, they'll get affected in a way where they'll go out and get some McDonald's when they're trying to really lose 20 pounds, or they'll eat too much sugar, drink too much caffeine, work too much. That's how they don't know or realize what they're picking up on, or that a negative energy is affecting them. So, a couple months could go by, and all of a sudden they have an extra 20 pounds on them. And that's because they're carrying the negative energy. And all you have to do is really become more aware of what you're feeling, who you're feeling, and that's what's going to help to shield from the negative energy, as well as sleeping good and eating good.
I mean, you can't call everyone up and say, hey, I've got your stomach ache. Take it off of me. You can't say, I know your stomach feels like crap right now. Because you'd be busy all day doing that. But the thing is, you got to see who you walk by. Who did you just speak to? Who just sent you an email? And then say to yourself, oh, my God, my stomach hurts. And then say, okay, this is not me. This is the person that just literally wrote to me. And then once you say it to yourself, acknowledge it, or you remove yourself from the environment, what happens is the energy comes off of you, and it goes back to the proper person. It's not like you're condemning them and bringing in, putting it back onto them like a snowball. But you are absorbing some of their issues, and if you don't put it back and say to and if you own it, you're going to be miserable all day. So you can eat all the Tums you want, but it really wasn't your stomach. So how do you feel after that? You feel like, wow, it wasn't even me all this time. So you're just wasting the Tums.
Yeah, that's what I feel about Kathy, the question that we were addressing. I feel like, since we couldn't really pick up any major physical ailments with her, I feel like a lot of it could be emotional, and she could be very much picking up on someone that she's strongly connected to that's worrying about his health. And that did pick up it was a male. So she could be around someone. If you're around someone that does not express feelings or communicate a lot, what happens is that person's feelings and thoughts project over to you, and Kathy could be receiving them and picking them up and just owning everything.
And owning the ailment. Like I told you, there were times when I could walk around and feel, especially in New York City, I thought my leg was broken, I just had surgery, I had a cold, I was a hypochondriac, and it just gets worse and worse if you don't acknowledge it. If you want to keep thinking like you're a hypochondriac, that just is like you're giving in. It's not good. You have to acknowledge that there is the unknown out there. So we'll get you there, Kathy.
And we have a couple more questions. Actually, these are both by Lori, and this is again from the chat room. By the way, someone had called earlier, and please call back. It's 800-653-1680. So Lori from the chat room has a couple questions. One is, what would the twins suggest about this? There is a unmarked gravesite near my home. And it's, there's, I guess apparently there's a rickety wooden sign there. What should they do about this? This is where dead people from an insane asylum were buried in a mass grave. And that she doesn't go near there, but she feels that there's negative energy when she drives by. And there have been several sightings. So what should a person do if they come across or are aware of unmarked graves?
Well, Lori, I mean, really, yeah, you can't really get rid of the gravesite, right? So basically, it's probably, pointing out and testing your own intuition and empathy. And what's happening is that you're picking up on the spirits, thinking negatively or feeling negative, because they're probably earthbound spirits there, especially if they're from an insane asylum, right?
Yeah, they're unsettled.
They're unsettled. So, Lori, when you pass by there, you're going to pick up on that, and you just have to, tell yourself it's the spirits there. You should probably just send them good energy and say,
yeah,
hey.
Tell them you are aware of them, but tell them you're not a working medium and you don't have to take messages from them. You know, that's what we have to do. We have to say, look, I am not working right now. Leave me alone. We have to tell them to leave. It's like a human.
Verbally do this out loud to them?
Yes, I have to. My sister is more of like, she has to keep the TV on. She's got to do other things. But I'm a verbal person, and I'll tell them, scram, get away from me. I'm not working right now, you know? Because they can get pesty. They're like pestering us. And the ones that are unsettled, for sure, they're pestering you, especially if you're open and they know that you're a conduit and they can get you a message. You know, they can come towards you.
You know, we have a caller on the line. So, hello and welcome to the Paranormal MD.
Hello.
Hi, who's this?
My name is Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, Lindsay. How are you?
Hi, Lindsay.
Good. How are you?
You're awful bubbly today.
Is this Lindsay Garnett?
I'm always bubbly.
Is this Lindsay Garnett?
Oh, it sure is.
Oh, my God.
You don't know how excited I am right now, guys. Crazy.
Wait, Lindsay, is that the sister or the mother?
The twin.
Oh, okay. Hi.
I know. I'm the twinsy.
The twinsy.
What's happening?
All right. Well,
just hanging out.
Can we have to explain how do you know each other the way that you're saying?
How do we know each other, girls?
Oh, yeah.
I just met her.
Yeah, Sunhee doesn't know her, but I know her family. Lindsay and Michelle and Tara, just friends of mine.
Oh, okay. Well, were you calling with a question, Lindsay, or just calling to say hi to them?
No, I do have a question, actually. The current relationship that I'm in, I want to know if it's the right relationship or not.
No.
Jeez. That was fast.
No?
What's if you don't mind, could you give the first name?
Scott.
Apparently you don't need the name.
Is it brownish hair?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think he is the one, but she has to do some things differently.
He has to do things differently, or I have to do things differently?
You do. You have to do some things differently in order for him to change a little bit, you know?
Wait,
is
is this a new relationship?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You may have to not express as much, or you may have to express more. Whatever you're doing, like, it just seems like that you're kind of becoming his thoughts of what he wants and what how much he likes you. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So you go along with it, but I think at the end of the day, you may not be too completely content and happy. So
yeah.
I do see some space, but I feel like it's up to you whether or not he will change. But I feel he may not be the ultimate one. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you are having fun right now or trying to, like, just try to see what you're doing and maybe do some things differently. Turn it around a little.
I feel like he's like in love with you, and it's only been. I don't feel like it's been too short of a time. Like, I feel like he's more. I feel like he's quick and kind of needy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, that does make sense.
So that's like a red sign right there, red flag right there a little bit. But I'm not saying he's a bad guy. I feel like he's a good guy. He would probably do anything for you. But there's just it's not even about bad guy or good guy. It's really about who's the one that you're going to settle down with, right? You want to be with the one. So and honestly, when I was picking up on you, I felt like there was like two or three other males that are. Do you talk to other males?
Not at this time like that, no.
Okay, well, maybe not like that, but you do talk to them, right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, these two, okay, so I'm just clarifying the fact that, okay, let me just tell you something. You have two other male energies that I feel that are in love with you. So say if I was a male and I was interested in you, coming towards you, trying to like, you know, if I was attracted to you and I was coming towards you, I'd be like, whoa, because I would feel like 2-3 male energies around you. Be like, wow, she's not available. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, like, because your energies are kind of like, not chaotic, but they're kind of full. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 guys like surrounding that have feelings for you. Man, I'd be confused too, because you're picking up on all these guys that have feelings for you. It can get confusing. So I actually feel like you have a major connection with someone from the past, and then there was probably, I feel like actually, did they all have brown hair or something?
God, I hope Scott's not listening.
No, he's not. No, I was engaged. He had blonde hair.
Well, he's still in love with you. There's definitely 2 males that I'm picking up that are still in love with you. I honestly feel like that you are actually, and I don't mean to be so New Yorkish style and blunt, but I feel like you're killing time because someone is going to be coming back to you. Does that make sense?
Oh, jeez. I gotta go here. Oh, great.
Well, you're going to have fun with picking. Like, you get to pick. So, I mean, gosh, some people can't even get a date. You get to pick.
Well, thank you, Lindsay, for calling in with your question.
Well, thank you.
Jane, nice to meet you.
Give everyone a hug from me.
I will.
Take care. Bye-bye. She's cute.
Okay, so now I have to get to 2 questions here because we're starting to run out of time. What?
Oh,
yes.
Can I just say one thing?
Yes.
Does Lindsay have a cat?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, because her aunt goes through the cat and talks to and kind of like gives that vibe of her aunt through the spirit of the cat, through the body of the cat. So just to let you know that your aunt is watching over you.
Wow.
Through your cat.
Yeah, their aunt is definitely around.
So, okay.
All right, so now we have a question from Robert Clark. And this was, I went to ask you this at the beginning and I got kind of confused on it, which is my wife found, and this is from Robert Clark, my wife found a class ring when she was a waitress, and we ended up finding out that he passed. And then Robert is wondering, is that the ghost of this person that this ring belonged to, is he with them?
When you asked that question before, I really wasn't feeling that. I wasn't feeling it was necessarily that guy's ring, the person. Like, it's not like because you have his ring that you're calling the spirit in to live with you, but it's more like you could be picking up on past impressions or emotions of this person that is relative or applicable to a spirit that is located in your house. That's what I feel.
All right.
It's not necessarily just one spirit. It's 2 people, two men, 2 males.
Interesting. Now, I hope this is okay with him.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not perverts. They're not after his wife or anything like that. It's just.
So she's safe. All right. We have another question from the chat room, which is from Beth Knoll. My husband and I have been searching for some time. Will we find our way this year?
Searching for what?
Yeah, that's it. It just says that. My husband and I have been searching for some time. Will we find our way this year? It doesn't.
Are you searching for ghosts? Are you searching for aliens? Or are you searching for a better life as far as living fully to the hilt?
Okay, Beth, if you're in the chat room, see if you can, answer that and hopefully get back, get this to us for.
A lot of times when people are confused or they don't understand their path, it's more like there has to be a niche that needs to be found, hobbies to be taken. Like I said, like a lot of people are in denial of their gifts. So if you have a gift and you're sitting on it, you better start practicing and exercising because you've got people to heal. You've got people to touch,
Do you think that that's really what it's about a lot is healing for people?
Imagine if everybody was in tune with their intuition, Mary. The whole world would be such a different place to live in because everybody would feel what everybody really needs or wants, and it would be such a big, compassionate world. But if you deny it, what happens is you're acting out all these other people all this time. In the meanwhile, you're picking up on other people's thoughts. Where the heck are you? Where'd you go, right?
Right.
Who are you? What's your real happiness? What do you really want to do, and what do you love? Well, you have to recognize all of your gifts and everything about you as a person, and just try to keep applying it to your everyday life, conventional or unconventional. It doesn't matter. The more you get in tune with your own feelings and intuition, the more you get to enjoy life and accept that, it's not just about tangible.
Beth Knoll just wrote in the chat room, life, livelihood, niche is the word.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I feel it's helping people or helping something as for a bigger cause and healing. So,
we have a question here, Sunhee and Chinhee, that from Anne, that is asking, is there any hope of keeping my house despite circumstances?
I'm getting yes.
Okay.
Anne.
That's good. Hang in there, Anne. It seems like, you can...
Yeah,
this.
Hang in there. There's like a program or something that's going to swoop her or help her or save her.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But it seems like it's to the end, almost like to the end of opportunity, so she has to start making some calls and a ton of paperwork too.
Okay. So get on it, Anne. There's hope. So, just hang in there. And then also from Amy, she asked, any new guys in my future? It's always about the guys. But
wait, Amy, okay.
Yeah, from Myrtle.
No, sorry, Amy. There's no new guys. You're totally blocked. I already felt it. You didn't even have to tell me who it was. I felt like no. Yes, there are some guys that will find you attractive and probably ask you out, but as far as like long-term relationship, absolutely not.
Wow. I mean, could you be a little more, tender with that?
I'm sorry, but I have to be blunt. We're New Yorkers.
New Yorkers.
That's not what she wanted to hear. She said, really? Wow.
Yes, really. I didn't even need to hear your last name or where you're from. I knew it was blocked.
So, just, Amy, you're going to have to make do with whatever's left right now. I mean, whoever.
Look at what you got, not what you don't.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay, and then we have Dan, who is basically, he's just wanting to know if you are coming to the East Coast soon. Apparently, he is going to be calling you guys for a reading.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Dan.
Wanted to know if you're coming to the East Coast.
We have a gallery that we're planning, but we don't know exactly what date yet. So, yes, we are going to come to New York, but it's going to be for with 10 psychics from ESP. So.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Well, you know what? You probably need it, though. You probably need, like, that many different, people.
We're doing like a psychic show, but it's going to be different where people will be blindfolded, touching cell phones and keychains, and we're going to have it where it's entertaining / just very different as opposed to just one psychic always doing the same one person and going to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
One style.
It's not going to be boring.
Yeah, it's going to be like a psychic circus, like energy healer on the stage, mediums, psychics, maybe some comedy with the way I talk. I can make people laugh, So it's going to be different, high energy. So, yeah, we'll definitely keep in touch. Subscribe to our newsletter.
And just, make sure you keep the blindfold and touching of objects to cell phones and inanimate objects, because otherwise it's a different kind of show. Just saying.
Yeah, don't bring the whips and the handcuffs, please.
Yeah, I don't. Okay, now we have a question from Anton Ritter. He is asking, is my current research direction the path I need to follow?
No.
Really?
I feel there's different directions that he just hasn't stumbled upon yet.
Okay. And Alex wants to know if he will find a new girl soon.
3 months, Alex. Give us some time.
Okay.
3 months.
Hello, are you?
Yeah.
Oh, so all of a sudden it sounded like you broke off there. And I'm gonna try to squeeze this one. If you can, if possible, give a quick answer because we're running out of time.
Sure.
This is from Dane's dad. That's who's in the chat room. Dane's dad. Have I found my one yet? If not, will I ever find her? Will ever get back together with who I thought was my one?
Dane's dad. Yeah, I definitely feel like you found your one. You just have to wait for her to come back to you.
Okay.
I don't feel like you're in contact with her, and it's been probably a substantial amount of time to where you're probably discouraged. But yeah, she'll be back.
Oh goodness! And there's one last question, and this was from earlier. David Darmody. Do you know who is shaking his bed?
Oh, wow.
Or is it, I guess
like a spirit?
That's what it makes it sounds like it's somebody shaking his bed as far as spirit wise. I guess if anything, is it something he should be concerned about? Is it something bad? Good.
It's definitely I feel like definitely a spirit or entity that's trying to mess with him.
Okay, but nothing dangerous, you don't think?
No, I felt a female. I feel like he probably knows her too.
Okay. Well, ladies, I have to wrap this up. I'm gonna thank you so much for joining me, and I have
Thank
to.
you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. There's just not enough time. So, thank you very much. And, I'll let you get back to your evening and I'll wrap it up.
Oh, thank you so much.
Have a good night, everyone. Nice to see you all in the chat room. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks. They are just the most wonderful people. I just love them. You could just do show after show with them. I just want to, get a couple things out there real quick about next week's show. Next week on the show, we have Sam Maranta, who is an investigative researcher and public researcher and public speaker. And he's also the president of Illinois MUFON. He's state director, for the MUFON International, and he's a certified field investigator who's handled many, many notable cases in his decades of experience. He will be a guest next week, and I just want to say many thanks again to Sunhee and Chinhee for joining me tonight as a guest. All of their website info will be available at the Paranormal MD Radio Show website, which is paranormalmd.radio.com, theparanormalmdradio.com, and any other information that we want to pass to you from the shows or in between the shows will be posted there as well. You can check on past guests, future guests, and so on. And as always, I just cannot thank you, everybody, for joining me here tonight in the chat room, on the phones. I appreciate it. Farewell, and join me again next week. I bid you farewell. Good night.